Rome Flynn here on the Rich Eisen Show. Our radio audience just rejoined us, and we just saw a teaser for Season 4 of Godfather of Harlem, which premieres on MGM Plus on April 13th. And, of course, MGM Plus, you can check it out right here on Roku. And, I mean, again, so you're acting with Forest Whitaker, and then you're playing the character that most of America knows as Denzel, having played, obviously an American gangster. Yeah. So no pressure. No pressure at all, right?
No, I'm built for this. I mean,
yeah, of course you are.
It's like last second on the shot. Last second on the clock. I want to to be the one shooting it.
Like you did in the NBA Celebrity All-Star game. Okay.
Yeah, something like that.
All right, let's jump in here now. So whose team are you on?
Barry Bonds.
You're on Barry Bonds' team.
Yeah.
Okay. So how is Barry Bonds as a coach?
Right. Great guy.
Okay.
He didn't really know a lot about basketball.
He didn't.
But but the thing is, like,
so that normally wouldn't be a great resume builder for basketball coach, right?
Yeah, but we got Jerry Rice on the other side, who is, I don't think he knew much about basketball either, So I think the playing field was a bit even, but
sure.
But Barry was competitive, and that's what I wanted.
Okay.
Because I wanted to see how guys were going to approach the game. Like, are we going to play for real? We're going to try to win. Mm-hmm. Is he going to take the approach like, let's just play all the influencers and the people that everyone knows? Or are we going to try to win the game? Mm-hmm. And he wanted to win.
What was your stat line in this contest?
I think 22, 8 rebounds, 5 assists.
Okay.
Yeah.
So look, there you are. Who are you? I guess this right here, it looks like you're being fouled. It could be called both ways. I mean, it looks like you're throwing your left arm. I know, you see the hand. I don't know who's guarding you right there, but...
That's Shelby. He's an Olympic jumper. Gold medalist.
Please.
Hacker also. As you can see. That's my guy.
It looks like he's looking for the baton handoff right there.
Exactly.
So who else were you on the team with? I mean...
a couple guys. Kai Sinet was on my team.
An influencer?
Yes.
Of note?
The biggest
one.
Is
he any good? Because he was in the Super Bowl flag football game. Was he any good?
He's probably a lot better in that than he was on the court.
Okay.
But he came to me at halftime. It's like, man, I just want to score. Man, I'm like, listen, I got you. Just run with me. Mm-hmm. And there was a point where we were wide open, and I told him to run ahead, and he got a layup.
That's Baron Davis behind you, right?
Yep,
there,
B. Davis. Yep, that's my guy.
Okay.
He was on our team as well.
All right. Look at you. Where's that trophy right now?
It's at home in a box. It's about 40 pounds.
What do you mean it's in a box?
It's in a trophy box.
Oh, okay. I thought you haven't taken it out. I would walk around with that.
It's heavy, though.
I would walk around with that like as a chain.
If I brought it here and gave it to you, you would be like, someone come grab this.
Okay.
It's heavy.
It's that heavy?
Yeah, It's heavy. It's legit glass. I was like, I understand the concept, but, they're like, do the interviews with holding it. I was like, all right.
Okay. So your team in the NBA is which? Which is your team?
My team is one of the biggest teams. LeBron James is my team.
But he's not he's a
well,
player.
He's technically a team because wherever he goes, no matter who he's with, they're competitive. So that's my team, LeBron James. But I like the Lakers. I like Luka. I like a couple teams in the league right now.
I can't believe they're on the same team. I still can't. Yeah. Every single time I turn it on, I'm like, what the hell?
Feels like a dream, really.
Oh, or a nightmare for the Mavericks. You know what
for
I
the
mean?
League, really.
Well, maybe we'll see.
Yeah.
So you're where are you from?
I'm from Chicago. Yeah.
Okay. So there are probably people who in Chicago that would think you saying I'm a LeBron fan, let alone a Laker fan.
Yeah, a couple of my homies that are here with me right now. They, Chicago.
You're on the set, one of the two Jamals?
Yeah, I got two Jamals with me, both of them my homies.
Okay.
And both my homies from Chicago, Jamal,
Is he allowed back in Chicago for saying LeBron's the guy and he's a Laker fan? I mean, he's giving me a look that
he said, you don't want to talk about it.
It's tough, right? Okay.
They let me back. It's cool. I try to be involved in the community and stuff like that.
Okay, good.
But LeBron James, man, the greatest of all time.
LeBron James.
We had this conversation in hour one with Morris Chestnut, who was sitting.
That's my guy too. I just saw him. It's crazy. I see Morris every Tuesday and Thursday in the morning. I play basketball like 5:30 in the morning, and a lot of time he's just there. And I just saw him yesterday, and we played. And I won the game. He was like, "Yo," and I just talked to him for a little bit. I thought maybe he was gonna be here, but he's great, man. I want to work with him. He's dope.
I was in a basketball movie with him.
Oh, really?
Like Mike.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. I missed that. Really? I gotta go watch that.
Now, hold on a minute. Let's break down what just happened.
Let me just.
Okay. No. Stop. Let's break down what just happened. I didn't play.
Okay.
Because that's the way you were kind of looking at me, like,
Well,
you know, like I laced him up.
Kinda.
Well, I mean, it is a basketball movie.
That's
I
true.
mean, I guess it's a supernatural fantasy movie that Lil Bow Wow could put on Jordan shoes and start hooping it up and winning NBA type games. I totally get
That's
it.
really crazy.
But I was in it.
Okay.
And
Did you play yourself?
I did.
Okay, how was it? Playing yourself?
It was great.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm great at that.
Did you play up any part of yourself even more that you normally would?
Well, back then I played up my hair.
Oh, you had a lot of hair back then?
I did, yes, I did.
Okay. I got you.
That's my only game that I had. You know, I've lost that part of my game. You've noticed.
But you gotten better in other areas,
I
man.
appreciate you saying
Polished in other areas. That's all.
I'm polished. By the way, don't say that word to a bald man. Who's your NFL team? What's your NFL team?
So again, I'm more of a narrative guy. Like I like players. So I'm fond of the Commanders. I like.
Could you Jaden Daniels? Is that
Yes,
why?
I mean just historic rookie season.
No doubt.
I'm a fan of the Chiefs. Just the dominance. I feel like they kind of, especially this past year.
Yes.
The way that they won their games.
Yes.
Everyone thought it was a fluke. I mean, they got all the way to the Super Bowl and they got smacked. But
Yes.
I think there's just something special about kind of how they navigated the season and got through the injuries and all these other things and ended up still making it to the Super Bowl. And so I'm fans of a bunch of teams. I try to make sure I watch. I'm interested to see who's going to go where in the draft.
I've got to be honest here, Rome. LeBron, Luka, Chiefs, Commanders. Do you like any teams that lose?
I'm a winner,
Rome?
but I do love an underdog story, man. I do.
Okay.
And I like the fact that Jalen Hurts got himself a ring.
Okay.
Because I think he's when you think about a quarterback and how I feel like they tried to label him early on.
Yes.
Not being much of a pocket passer and kind of needing to have a great running game, which they went and got Saquon. It's like, okay, I knew they were going to be great, but he was the reason they won that game. And so he got to get his lick back, which is what he said. He wanted to get his lick back. And he got redemption. I love a good redemption story. He sat there and watched all the confetti fall, and he's like, I'm going to come back here.
Yeah, he kept the him walking off the field with the Chiefs confetti on the ground as his phone screensaver all the way up to Super Sunday this year. I don't know if he's since changed it.
Let's hope so. I hope it's him like maybe he needs motivation
smoking
again.
a cigar or something like that.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
So it's interesting, Ian. You choose your redemption story involving a winner.
Yeah,
like,
winning.
So what about a team that has yet to win?
I like that too, but I think I'm mainly. So for instance, let's talk about the Bears, right? Because I'm from Chicago. Let's talk about the Bears.
There you go.
I think I like the offseason moves.
I do too.
I feel like I can recognize when a team is making moves to better their team or to just have a mediocre season. And sometimes I feel like teams are more interested in just making the playoffs or just being in contention as opposed to like putting pieces together to go for a deep playoff run. They're shoring up that O-line for my guy back there so he can get a little bit more time. I mean, as you can see, he was one of the most accurate quarterbacks last year, which I feel like is also a misleading stat in a way because as a quarterback, you have to sometimes put the ball in jeopardy. Like you have to throw your receivers open sometimes. And I think a lot of times he didn't, I don't know if he necessarily didn't trust like the receivers to get open, but he didn't throw a pick until like the last game of the season.
Yeah, he got his ass beat all year long.
Yeah, he ran around.
Yeah, I called the game. They won in London. He had 4 touchdowns. It was his best game of the year. And so like you, he's a winner, and I root for you both, just like you do, for all the winners.
Yeah, all the winners.
Rome Flynn here on the Rich Eisen Show. Godfather of Harlem premieres on MGM Plus on April 13th. How did you get started in your business?
Basketball?
No.
Oh.
I love that. I love this. Yeah, no, tell me how you.
Because that's why I'm here. I'm here to talk about basketball.
Tell me how you got to that championship podium lifting your 40-pound ball glass because you're driving around hurdlers.
That was always the goal.
Please tell me more about that, Rome. No, in all seriousness, how did you get started in acting?
Yeah, so I didn't grow up, doing drama. I didn't know anything about acting growing up. I did music. I still do music now.
Okay.
And so I kind of got introduced to acting because of that reason. I ended up doing like a showcase, like an art showcase that I heard on a radio once. And I was driving and my friend was with me and she's like, you should do that. I was like, really? He's like, yeah, I dare you to do it. And so I showed up to this like open casting call for an art showcase, and they required you to do at least 4 categories. And one of them was acting. It was like monologue. Another one was like cold read, which is where you read a commercial like off a page and try to sell it. And then
Do you remember what monologue you did?
no, but I remember that my cold read was for crest whitening strips.
Oh, yes.
I do remember that.
Right.
And it got me into the art showcase with that. And I ended up winning that category in the art showcase with that particular commercial. You know, I just sat up there and said, hey, crest whitening strip. I just did the thing, you know, and I won. I was like, maybe I'm good at this. And I went home and was like, my life is different now. And I think I got to change course because I had a scholarship to play basketball at the time at Benedictine University in Illinois.
Sure.
And ultimately, I had to walk away from it to pursue acting. And so that was a whole conversation I had to have with the coach, kind of tell him like, well, I didn't tell him I was going to pursue acting. I told him, I lied to him a bunch of times. And I just tried to figure out which lie was going to work best. Because I was like, there's no way he's going to believe like I'm leaving school to go pursue to be an actor, you know? So initially I told him like, I have nowhere to live. He's like, don't worry about that. I'll put you in the house with the guys, take care of rent. And I was just like, what could I come up with that he couldn't have a rebuttal for? And I was like, my mom is sick.
Oh.
I went there. I had to.
But you're a good actor.
At the time, I didn't know. Maybe I was.
It was your first scene.
It was my first scene. It was my first scene.
That didn't involve a whitening strip.
Yeah, right.
Okay.
And it worked. And he said, I'm sorry to hear that. And I just called my mom. I'm like, you okay, right? She's like, I'm fine. I was like, all right, just want to make sure I'm not manifesting, you know. Yeah. And so ultimately at that point, I kind of decided to shift gears and prepare to try to move to LA. And so it took me like a year and a half to finally get out here. But I had to walk away from my scholarship to do that.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. And then so you wound up on a soap? Is that was your first
Yes.
gig?
So yeah, when I got out here, I actually did a made-for-TV film first for VH1. It's called Drumline 2. It's been many years. But Drumline 2, the first Drumline was...
significant?
Significant. I mean, it impacted me as a kid. Like I started drumming like when I was in 6th grade because of it. And then here I am doing like the sequel sort of to that film.
Yeah.
And that was my first time I've ever booked anything. And then it was it was a dry spell. Like I didn't understand the business. I thought I was good. Like once you book something, you think, okay, I got to figure out what I'm going to say. I'm going to get interviewed. Let me clean up anything I need to clean up in my life. Like I'm telling my mom, like, hey, things about to be a little different around here. Okay. I'm on TV now. All right, mom. So you can't be doing this, doing that. And then like I didn't book anything for months. And then I had to get a job again. And I started working at a cafe. And
yeah, you did.
Yeah, I worked at a cafe where the hours were allowed me to still audition.
Were you good?
Here in LA.
Were you good as a waiter? Or is that what I imagine what you did, or what you did?
No, actually, I prepared the pastries. That was
Yeah. Okay, so you're
a
pastry chef.
Bread.
Look at you.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. You prepared the bread.
The pastry, bread, all of that. But
okay,
it worked for me because the hours were just like 4:30 in the morning to 1 p.m.
So you could then
I could audition for stuff, you know.
Right.
But I will say, a lot of times I would get done with the pastry stuff early and have to wash dishes, right?
Sure.
And there was a guy I worked with, and I saw him every day. We got real cool. And I would be washing dishes, and one day he looked over at me and he's like, man, you look a lot like this guy on this movie I just saw last night. And I was just like, what movie? He's like, it's a movie on VH1, man. Drumline 2. Like, you look a lot like this dude, but no way that's you. You wouldn't be here like washing dishes. And I'd be like, that definitely wouldn't. I'm sure that guy's doing great. Like, hand me that towel. But that humbled me. I was like, if I get my opportunity again to be on a set or the opportunity to play a role, like man, I'm going to cherish it and know that it's always fleeting.
And then you got The Bold and the Beautiful?
And The Bold and Beautiful came through for me.
What's the weirdest, wildest thing you did as a character on The Bold and the Beautiful? What was that?
Yeah. The wildest thing for me was that I played an orphan from South Africa that was adopted into a very wealthy family. That's kind of the premise of the show. And my girlfriend at the time, her sister was transgender. And so my girlfriend was a surrogate for her to have a child, and that was the storyline
On the soap.
That ultimately I won the Emmy for, though. So
damn straight you did.
yeah.
Okay. And now here you are, on Godfather of Harlem season 4. You were saying that you were picking the brain of Forest Whitaker on the set. You want to share something with Forest?
Yeah.
You got something with you and Forest from the set?
Some of the greats, I equated to being able to probably watch Michael Jordan work on his fadeaway. Like being able to be in the gym with just you and Mike, or watching him do that.
Yeah.
Or watching Steph Curry warm up. It's like that's the equivalent, being on set with, like, I've worked with Viola Davis in the same way, like intimately for a couple of seasons on How to Get Away with Murder. And so working with Forrest gave me that same feeling. And like the greats, you always think that they come in and it's like, wow, they're over prepared. It's like they're prepared, but it's the natural instinct in them that really is special about them. And so I would see him just have a conversation with me. We start a scene and he'd just be locked in. Just automatically just Bumpy Johnson, and then we go back to talking. And I'd say that's special because a lot of this business is not being in your head and just understanding where you are and where you're going as an actor. And they do it so well. And so I got to talk to him just about like his career. I was just saying, like, you're one of my favorite actors. I get to work with you. And he's just like, I think you're great. And I was like, wow, I appreciate that because he didn't have to say that, So I had a couple of moments with him like that, but for the most part, like, my character is on his own journey, and a journey of self-discovery, really. And so when you're introducing a new character to a show, they can't just drop you in with all the main characters. Like, you kind of have to establish some backstory.
Sure. Certainly with an established show like this one.
Exactly. So a lot of it I spent alone, and then toward the end of the season, like, I'm more involved, but early on was just me and trying to navigate the arc that I kind of wanted to have for this character.
Before I let you go, and you may not be aware, but you and TJ Jefferson here on the program have hung out before.
What? Really?
Yeah, at the Palace in Monaco. You want to put the photograph up right here?
I know you look familiar.
There,
my man in the back. Yeah.
That is TJ in the back.
Wow.
And there you are on screen right there. You are.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah.
Right here.
I'll give you a quick story about this real quick.
Go
and
for
I'm
it.
sure he's maybe you told them.
I think Anthony Anderson might have told this story
He
on
might
there.
have told it too.
I would love to. I would love your perspective.
Well, hear my perspective.
Yeah.
So Anthony, this is my first time really doing anything like this. I was on the soap, but it's like I had no experience. And Anthony walks up behind me. He's like, "Don't move." I'm like, "What the hell?" And he's pulling apart, like my jacket was still stitched together. He's like, "I got you." So at that point, I knew he was a guy that cared, And so we go into this palace where we have armed guards standing around us, and I just keep hearing like, "Hooty hoo!" I'm like, and that's like a universal call for
it's a call for
everybody
action.
black in the room. Let's meet somewhere. And so I'm like, I'm like in the middle of a conversation. I just hear that out of nowhere, and I just see like certain people migrating toward certain corners of the palace, right? And then, and then I'm like, this looks like something I need to be involved in. And I started migrating myself, right? We all just kind of met. And Anthony Anderson came over to me. He said, "We're meeting in the corner. We're taking a picture. Just when you hear the call, just make sure you get over there." He said that to me earlier. And it like occurred to me that was the call. I was like, yeah, I'm like, and so all of the black people met in the corner. And at first the guards were like, "You can't take pictures in here." Then the Prince of Monaco was like, they're fine. He let us do it because they don't allow photos in there at all.
Yeah.
And so we picked a wall. We all took a picture, and it was like all the other like demographics were just very shocked. They was like, "We don't know what's happening." Like, and they just had to watch us all take a picture.
You look kind of still shocked that this is happening right there. Like you kind of.
Well, at this point, everyone's looking at us.
Everybody.
And the guards as well,
Oh, man.
So I'm like, let's take the picture, man.
Let's go.
You got it? Okay, cool. But
And there's
it's an
Anthony
incredible
and
experience.
50 right there in the middle.
50 right in the middle. Yep.
Yeah.
50 was the biggest star there, man. When he showed up, it was like, yo, 50's
Crazy.
here.
Right?
Yeah, we're taking a
Prince
picture.
was like, yo, I want a picture with you. Like, man, bro, this is your palace. No, but yeah, great. Look at all those amazing creators and actors there.
And
So,
there's TJ in the back.
Somehow I made my way
T-Dog
to
in the
this
back.
picture.
Okay.
Just you're everywhere, TJ. That's all. You are royalty. You're your own sense of royalty over there, for sure. Hey, Rome, what a pleasure to have you on. Congrats on season 4. Congrats on winning the Celebrity All-Star Game.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
MVP. Pardon me. My bad. My bad. Good luck to all your winning teams. Because they need it, because you root for all the losers. And come back anytime.
Absolutely, man. I can't wait to come back and
Please
just sit down and talk to you. Thanks for being here. This is really dope.
No.
I've always watched this and been like, one day I'll get on there.
And now you have. And if you want to come back and during the NBA playoffs and, just chop it up and kind of be like,
I'm really big.
Come back and be like you sat down and like, we have all the games on. Like you were kind of psyched that we had the games on here. But come back and, break down the playoffs, NBA playoffs. Let's do it.
I would love that.
For sure. I would like that too. Rome Flynn. You try. Listen for the call.
I got to go. That's my cue.
Catch the Rich Eisen Show live weekdays from 12 to 3 p.m. Eastern on Roku Sports Channel in the U.S.